All right, guys, welcome back to Zando Football. Definitely appreciate the support. In this video, I wanted to go over the patch that they just dropped in Madden. I just got home. I played one game, and I got like 3 or 4 interceptions in this game using some of the new coverages that they've implemented into the game. So I wanted to go over just a brief video on these. I plan on making a lot of videos on this formation for one, and then some of the new cover two plays. All right. So first and foremost, this is in the Cardinals playbook. All right, and we have 3-3-5 penny 3 high. All right, so what we do is you have your 3 defensive linemen, still have your 3 linebackers in the second level, but instead of you having this nickel on the outside here, all right, we get rid of him and we replace him with a safety, but we align that safety deep down the middle of the field, and that's where we get this 3 safety high pre-snap presentation. All right, so there's benefits to this type of structure and defense as far as where they align pre-snap. I plan on making videos on it. All right, but without further ado, this is Tampa 2 from this formation where I will get an interception, and I want to make a brief. I want to make a brief. Okay, so I call him. I didn't know what to call him. Right, so you have maybe your boundary safety, you have your field safety. Well, what do you call this third safety? So I decided, you know what, I'll just call him the Joker safety. You can call him whatever you want, the middle safety, whatever. It doesn't matter. All right, but let's get into something really quickly. So this is a traditional formation, nickel formation, where we are running cover two. All right, and in cover two, guys, all right, obviously you have your cloud defender. In the traditional sense, it's the corners, and then you have your hook curl defenders inside, your apex here, all right, and then you have your deep half safeties, and usually have your Mike backer or linebacker who is the pole runner. All right, so I'll make videos on Tampa too, but the issue with this, and this is one of my main issues with Tampa 2 in the traditional sense, one minor thing that I never really liked about it is the amount of pressure you put on this player in regards to what he has to do post snap. All right, because he is a box defender. All right, he's in the box, he has a run fit, but you are asking a lot of this player to have a run fit, but then also be assigned to running the pole post snap on passing plays. All right, because looking on paper, if I was an offense, if I knew you were in this coverage, one way I would attack this guy is I would run a lot of play action and run isolation routes down the middle of the field. All right, because if we can get him to hold for a moment, bite on the run fake, all right, um, and have him have to run uphill on a deep middle pass pattern by a tight end or whatever, we could put a lot of pressure on this Mike backer. All right. So the benefit of Tampa 2 from this 3-3-5 high system, all right, with this play is, well, now we have this Joker safety who's playing from depth pre snap. He is the pole runner. All right. And it does a number of different things. We have relieved a lot of the pressure that we usually would put on the Mike backer. In other words, he does not have to deal with running up the pole and then also being a run fit defender. All right. So he still has a run fit, I believe, in this play, but it's not like he has to run up the middle of the field and run up the pole. All right. We put that pressure on the deep middle safety. Number two is when defending the pass, the pole runner, now our middle safety, he doesn't have to play uphill when he's defending the pole. He can play from top down. All right. So you're able to get a bigger picture on what's going on at the snap of the ball. I believe you can make better decisions. This is why in shooting games, you always want to play from high ground. It's the same sense here. All right. And then number three, you had to pick between having a linebacker have to defend in space down deep down the field, or a defensive back like a safety, you would rather have the safety do it, right? So, we kind of, I think, optimize the way we play Tampa 2. I always tried to figure out ways to get the one of the safeties to be the pole runner and then have the Mike backer do something else, the Tampa 2 coverage. The problem is, it's funny how they dropped this recently. I was making videos on this where I was trying to figure out a way to do it, but it was impossible to do it because you can't adjust the safety to be the pole runner. Can't put him in a mid read. All right, so I was trying to get into N.T.T where he would be the mid read, and then maybe we blitz the mic, and then we do something else to keep the integrity of the cover 2 on the back end. But lo and behold, we have Tampa 2 in this petty 3 high system, and we're able to do that with this coverage. All right, so let's get right into some plays here, and hopefully I get into some interesting stuff. So my opponent went gun tight doubles, and I'm like, you know what? Let me run this 3-3-5 penny 3 high Tampa 2. And I ran, I believe, the Tom stunt. I don't remember what happened. I do remember what happened. All right, so obviously he still has a run fit, as you saw there, but he doesn't have as much pressure as he would if he had a run fit and was the pole runner. All right, so he's a hook curl defender, so it's not as bad in regards to getting put into conflict. All right, he still can, but it's not as devastating to the defense if this guy ends up being wrong. Right, and then our pole runner will now play from depth, and like I said, it's almost like playing from high ground. All right, what my opponent is going to run is like a bench type concept on this side of the field. And I'm using the corner over here. I'll make videos on this cover 2 stuff. I've been running a lot of cover 2, guys. It's probably my favorite defense to run now online. And it's not because it's superior to other coverages. It's just because you're playing against guys who don't understand like route concepts. They don't put players into conflict. And that's where spot drop, things like cover 2 is. All right. So what he's going to do, he's going to try to fit a ball. This plays into one of the core philosophies of cover 2. All right. It's a bend but don't break style of defense. Cover 2 wants to keep everything in front of you. All right. And what we're trying to do in a cover 2 style defense is we're trying to force the offense. Hey, look, if you're going to move up the field, okay, it's going to take you 12, 13, 14 plays before you get to the promised land. All right. It's a failure in a cover 2 defense, at least for the philosophy, to give up a really big play. Right. So in this combination, what he should have done is just dumped it off to the space we've given pretty much up underneath, and then turn and try to get yards, right? So he tried to force it in there. You may think this is a bonehead interception. Oh, and on video, it does look like a terrible interception, but I can't tell you how many times you will get interceptions online from guys running 4, 5, 6 plays, and then they get tired of this dinking and dunking, and they want to get a big bite out of in yardage, and they force a throw like that. That's what my opponent did. Nothing to elaborate there. All right, so here I wanted to show he ran the same play later on in the game. All right, ran the same exact play. And the reason why I wanted to show this is, well, actually, he didn't run the same play. I think this guy ran. This is an example of not stretching defenders. All right, but he's going to complete this pass. All right, and I want you to think of why he was able to have more space to fit a ball here as opposed to the last. I think he ran him on the corner. All right. Now he's able to fit a ball over there. Now, I would like this guy to kind of get a little bit more depth here, widen a bit to kind of narrow this window. He was able to fit a ball here for a big play. And the answer is where the ball is, right? So the ball is here. So he ran this concept to the field, right? So if you don't know what that is, if you draw a line down the center of the offense, notice how the ball is on the right hash. So this is the boundary side, and this is the field side. All right. So you have more space on the field side, you have less space on the boundary side. On the play where he threw the interception, look where he is, right? So it's a lot to think about in regards to the concepts you run. It's a lot to think about on the defensive side of the ball on what you're doing, the boundary side or the field side, knowing that there is less space to one side as opposed to the other, right? That may be the difference between you playing cloud flat on one side or hard flat on the other, etc. Right? So, he ran something that actually is a better concept than what he got on the completion. But, the problem is there's just not a lot of space over here for him to run this little corner route. And we ran kind of squeezed on this route and we got the pick. All right. So that was the point of me showing him running a corner on two different plays. But in one play, we get a pick, and another play, he's wide open. Well, what's the difference? It's kind of poor play by the corner because he's not being threatened underneath. So why not continue to widen and get depth? But he has more space to attack with that corner route, right? So as you see here, there's nothing here. So I would like for him to kind of continue to widen and get depth. Maybe it's because he sees this guy coming into the window and it holds him, but that's neither here nor there. All right. So we'll get into the next play. So these are the plays that they added. I love every single one of them. Right. Look at some of these cool plays. We got show strong safety sim 2. So we got a sim or a creeper pressure with playing cover 2 on the back end with it. We got cover 2 roll. This is a N.T.T or a non-traditional Tampa 2 rotation, at least on one side. All right. And then we also have another N.T.T that is also a creeper. All right. So we got a lot going on with these. I looked it up today, guys. I put in the numbers. This is a non-traditional Tampa 2 as well. I love N.T.Ts, guys. You may think, cover 2 is one coverage. It may not seem exciting, all right? But when you think about it, when you think about cover 2, all right, there's one way to play it where you play the traditional regular cover 2 traditional sense. Corners are cloud flats. You have your wall 2 players, your pole runner, and your 2 deep half safeties, right? But if I were to tell you, okay, you could play that same defense, but then turn the field corner into a hard flat, right? I showed you one. And now you call that same defense, but now you put the outside corner on the field side into a hard flat. Well, now you're playing cover 2 a little bit differently. It's a subtle difference, but it is a difference. Well, how about we play cover 2 where both corners are hard flat? That's a third different way to play cover 2. All right. Well, how about you put one in soft squat and the other in cloud flat, right? On and on and on. And you add in all of the different ways you can play cover 2, where you can have the corner be deep half and the safety takes the flat where you invert it, right? I didn't even count in all of the N.T.Ts, right? Just the traditional change ups with the cloud, the soft squat, the hard flat, the hook curl, the vertical hooks, all right, deep half safeties. It came out to around 3,888 different ways you can play cover 2. All right. When I added in, I'm going to make a video on this. I got to look up the numbers again. All right. So this is kind of, I'm trying to remember because I was doing this at work. ChatGPT putting in the numbering for the numerical data for how many different ways you can play it if you put in the numbers in this graph. If you were to add in, well, what if you add playing inside or outside shade? Okay. You may think that that doesn't work when you play zone. That's not true. They do play a little bit differently when you use inside and outside shade when you play like cover 3 or cover 2. I was amazed when I found that out. I found that out through Geronimo. So I thank him for learning that, right? Just adding these two, this now turns into like 8,000 different ways you play cover 2 or variation. Then when you add all of the different shells you can add to this, right? Because you could play this way, right? Just regular cover 2, but then you could play cover 2 a little bit differently with everyone running the same stuff, right? You didn't change anyone, but then you play from a cover 0 shell. it's still cover two, but it still plays a little bit differently than this. So it's like a different variation. When you add in all the shells, it comes out to like 18,345 different ways you can play cover two, right? So I don't want you to think that when you play cover two, it's a boring coverage. That's not true. You can do so many different things with cover two. You can tinker with it, you can make adjustments with it, and be phenomenal in playing it, right? So, I'm pretty sure the great teams that were Tampa 2 teams like the 05, 06 Bears, the early 2000 Bucks, I can almost guarantee you that they didn't run cover two the same every single way. They have ways to deal with specific problems that they may run into when running the coverage. I remember watching a video where uh, Urlacher was talking about how he was the pole runner in the coverage, and then sometimes they would switch it up and have Briggs, the weak side backer, run to the pole, and then he would be the wall two player. Ways to switch it up, right? So we'll go ahead and move on and move forward, and we'll get into. I mean, because all these, this is all cover two, but they're just running it in different ways, right? And each and every one of them are very interesting to me. All right, I especially love this show strong safety sim too. All right, so I actually ran it here. I think we get an interception. He ran gun bunch open. Okay, this is so what we're doing here. So this is a sim pressure, all right, or a creeper, I like to call it, where I believe this is the other safety. So here's both of our safeties. So this is a regular nickel formation. It's not 3-3-5, three high, right? These are both of our safeties. This is the corner. This is the nickel. I believe this is the backer. This is Mike, other backer. It's our right corner. All right, so this is a non-traditional Tampa 2 because traditionally, all right, you would have the corner playing the cloud flat, safety playing the deep half. Okay, a non-traditional Tampa 2 is where you still have the 7 on the back end, right? We still have the deep halves, still have the wall two players, we still have the pole runner, we still have the two flats, but we have different or non-traditional players playing in different spots. So as opposed to the safety playing the deep half, you see here we have the corner, right? That's a non-traditional. And usually it comes with a rotation, and that's what we have in this. So we're bringing the safety down on a blitz, and then we are flinging the other safety over to take the deep half over here, taking the corner, playing the big half, and then we are slinging out from the apex to play the flat. It's a way to give confusion to the offense, but now we've turned this into a creeper. What a creeper is, all right, when you think about a traditional cover two, I think I have, okay, so this is great. I put this, all right, you think about a traditional coverage where we're bringing four, and this is our zone defenders, cloud flat, deep half. Okay. Well, what a creeper pressure is we are still bringing four on a rush. However, we are doing it in a different way. What we're going to do is we are going to insert a second or third level defender on a rush, but then keep the integrity of the back end of the coverage, cloud flat, cloud flat. So now you have to be the wall two player. You have to be the wall two player, and we keep the integrity of the coverage of a 7 on the back end by taking a first level defender and inserting him into the second level. And that's where you get a creeper. All right. So, if you think about a traditional cover two, what do you have in the back end? 7 zone defenders. But a creeper pressure will still have 7 zone defenders. You're still rushing 4, but those 4 rushers will be one from the second level, or you could bring a corner, right? You can do something like this. I mean, you could design a million different creepers, but it's all the same. It's going to be 4 coming at the quarterback, and then you keep the back end intact. So let's do a cover 2 here. All right, so this wouldn't make sense with how we have it aligned, but the flat will make him the wall 2. We'll make you the deep half over here. You're the deep half over here, the wall. You're the flat, you're the wall too, right? Notice how we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the back end, rushing 4, but it's from a different presentation. We're not bringing the traditional 4 on the rush. All right, so I have a video on creepers. Definitely go check it out. And I love running. You can run a cover 3 creeper. You can run a 2-man creeper. You can run a cover 1-man creeper. That's what I like about creepers. You can run whatever you want on the back end, but all you do is you're bringing a second or third level defender on a rush, and then you're replacing that player from the first level, someone from the first level, back into the back end of the coverage to keep the integrity of the coverage intact on the back end. All right. So, with that said, look at what we are presenting up front, right? This play in this one game was confusing the hell out of my opponent here, right? Because it looks like a single high coverage, right? We don't know what's going on. Is this cover 1 with the pressure? Is this cover 3 zone, right? That's what it looks like. Is this some type of all out blitz? Okay, it's very hard to understand what is going on here. Look at how we're mugging yellow S here, right? You don't know what's going on, and he's going to throw an interception, right? So does this look like we're only bringing 4 on a rush? No, right? So safety's going to come under pressure. So I haven't optimized this coverage or none of these coverages. I just went straight into a game and played them, and I love the versatility of this, right? The interception is going to come from our hook curl defender. I love what he does at the snap of the ball. Notices how he steps forward as if he's rushing, and then he's going to back up into this curl area, and he plays almost kind of like in the low hole area. I think what he ran, I think he went inside, kind of up into the seam, and it just looks wide open. And he's going to rip it in there, and he's going to throw an interception to the low hole player. Also, what I like about this play is the mid-read player. He turns his hips to the passing strength of the formation. So because the passing strength is over here, he's going to flip his hips to this side as he rides the pole, right? So essentially what we get over here is we get like almost like a box. We're not playing box coverage, but we are boxing these 3 defenders. We're putting them kind of in like a box. So I'll go ahead and play it. I'm running my mouth. Oh, notice what I'm doing on is where we get into leveraging the boundary, right? I made a video on this part 1. I'm going to have hopefully part 2, part 3, and part 4. Right? I plan on doing stuff with that as well. I love leveraging the boundary and doing different things on the boundary side with the cloud flat corner, the deep half safety. I've been having a lot of fun with the cover 2 scheme that I've been running. Uh-oh, seam looks open. Oh, and we got pressure. I didn't even notice that until now. Looks like the safety came scot-free. You can't be getting a free rusher at the quarterback while only bringing 4 and they're blocking 5. You can't beat it. Because we are simulating cover 0 to this guy, right? But we are keeping 7 on the back end, right? So we get, I wonder if this was why he threw this, right? Yeah, he wanted to get rid of this. Okay, seam looks open. No, it's not. All right, gun tight doubles. So I think this is where I ran. I was running this a lot. I like this. I want to see how it plays against gun tight doubles. Excuse me, gun tight doubles. All right, okay. Right away we see, what guys will do. Right, this is where he went into 6-man protection because he doesn't know what's going on here. Right? There's 7 mugging the LOS. No, you're not going to think that you are actually rotating into some type of cover 2. But that's what we're doing. Somebody's going to pop out here. So he's going to keep the tight end into block. And I think he got a big play here. I don't remember. He did. But what I liked about this is how in a previous video I showed you guys how in cover 2 the pole runner turned his hips the wrong way. I don't remember what play it was, but I liked how You know, the passing strength in Madden is declared over here because it has the speed side over here, but he still turns this way. I think it's because the game has it where in this play he will turn towards the field. All right, so passing strength, and if the passing strength is on the weak side, he still turns towards the field. I like that better. I believe that's what's going on. All right, problem is we did put air on the ball. I think we got an incompletion. Yeah, we did. So you saw that seam late. This is the issue with this play. All right, so it's good to know this, you know, because I didn't know this now when playing this, but because he's going to turn this way as he rides up the pole. All right, and this guy is going to almost like fake blitz and then get into the hook to curl area. All right, this area of the field is open right at the snap of the ball. Right, it's open right there. He can rip it. Right, but if he doesn't see that and he throws it late like that, all right, again, this is what cover two wants. You want air put on the ball. The more air a quarterback has to put on the ball while playing cover two, the better for your defense. That's where we get a big hit. I think I'm just going to roll it now. So, you know, I didn't know this until actually I put this into the replay, but now when I see this, you know, now I know I got to be aware of the seam quick throw on this side if this is the boundary side. My hook curl defender on the LOS. Miss it again, and if you miss it quick, then we're good, right? Because you know it kind of closes. Cloud flat is squeezing on the left there. I mean, good stuff. He had nowhere to go here. I believe he checked in the 6-man protection again. Look, he's in 7-man protection. He's in 7-man protection because of this. Oh, this is really good stuff. This is what sim pressures want. And creeper pressures. We want to give the illusion that we are bringing heavy pressure. This is what we want. We want them to block 6 and 7 because now when you release 3 into routes, you're trying to get 3 people open with 7 in the back end, right? Now it's really hard for defenders to get vertically or horizontally stretched, narrow these windows. Really cool stuff. Look how far he's dropping back. Yeah, so this is where, okay, notice he opens to the field, the pole runner, opening to the field. So before, when the passing strength was on the boundary side, he didn't open to that side. He opened to field. So I think they have it coded where no matter what, he's going to open to the field. I may be wrong, but that's something to think about. All right. Now he's able to put, if I would have known this, I probably would have brought pressure from the field so he can't roll this way and then put a deep ball down here. So our pole runner got torched there. Our deep half safety wasn't able to close on that, but that's okay. I think this is the last one. Okay, this is where I ran like a cover 5 invert play. Something that I'm working on against bunch, another like bunch check. So I'll leave it at that, guys. I hope you got something from this video. I had a lot of fun using these coverages in the one game, and I look forward to making more videos on these plays. I think I'm going to switch over to the Cardinals playbook. They still have the regular penny formation. So definitely look forward to more video. Hope you got something from this video, and I hope you keep coming back for more, man. Peace.